Hi, my name's Steve and welcome to the Seaside Allotment channel, and today I just wanted to reflect back on winter and whether it's been worthwhile harvesting through this winter. Now, we've harvested the previous winter as well, and we had some problems then because the weather was really awful and harvesting outside just wasn't fun for maybe 2 or 3 of the weeks in winter. This year it's been much better because we've had the polytunnel, and because we've got a little bit of everything in the polytunnel, it means that even in the worst of days really, we can just pop down to the plot. We only live a couple of minutes away from it, and we can get everything we need basically from the polytunnel. Now, we'd run out if we did that, so we need the outside beds as well. But on the foul days, everything's here in our kind of little larder of fresh food in the polytunnel. But I also wanted to talk about, the broader sort of associated benefits of harvesting through winter. And the first one that I picked was that, when you're harvesting twice a week like we do, you can just keep your beds clean. And, so you don't need to cover them or anything like that. You just put compost mulch down in autumn, plant through it, and as you're going around doing your harvesting, you see the odd weed, just pick those out as you go along. And so by the time you get to spring, everything's in really good order. So the next benefit, and it's only a little one, but they all add up, is that because you're growing in the polytunnel all year round, everything stays really, really well hydrated. The soil life is kept at optimal levels, and you can keep the ventilation up so you don't get any mould or anything like that. So by the time you come to spring, the polytunnel is absolutely ready to go. There's no work at all to do. And so I think this is kind of a consistent theme, that when you harvest through winter, you're just really, really well positioned for spring. So the next thing I noticed is that, as you're walking around the plot and walking around the site in general, it's just really soul affirming, because winter veg is just so beautiful, especially on frosty days and snowy days and things like that. See things poking through the snow, all lovely and frosted. See new life springing up. It's just fantastic. I just absolutely love it. So in winter we tend to visit the plots maybe 2 to 3 times a week. We always harvest twice a week, but sometimes we do an extra harvest as well. And while we're down here, we just have a quick wander around the plots and just see if there's any little jobs that need doing. And as a result of that, big jobs just don't really pile up. We notice things when they're starting to break, or we tidy up things before they get a real mess, or we pull the weeds before they get established. And as a result, again, that it's nice to come down because everything looks neat and tidy, but also it just feels effortless. You really don't have to put a lot of work in. And I'm all for a lazy life. So the other thing we tend to do when we come down is we just have a wander around the site. It's a beautiful site here, and it's one of the nice things about winter is there's always 2 or 3 people here, always different people every time, and often they're people we don't know. And there's 160 plots here, and there's often couples and things, so there's at least 200 people on this site, and I don't know them all. And so when you're wandering around in winter, everybody's got time for a chat. You get to find new people, and of course one of the real nice benefits is it just helps to keep you fit. It's a really nice walk. So now we come on to the finances. Now, last winter, we were pretty pleased with what we did. We harvested something like 150 Great British pounds worth of veg, and that was a nice little earner. But it also made a substantial impact on our diet. But we did have to start buying some veg in January and February. Now, this winter we've done much better. We harvested something like 800 pounds worth. And that is a substantial amount of money, and that really has made a significant difference. And we think we can make, grow from the lessons we've learned this year. We can grow a substantial amount more next year. But even this year, that was pretty impressive. So that translated into something like 500, I think, 300 of the standard harvesting containers that we use, and of course we supplemented that with loads of food that we'd already got from the store. And then ultimately that translated into something like 500 absolutely amazing meals. Now you do get the impression that winter veg is not so great, but I've just been blown away by the quality this year. And you know, I'm absolutely in awe of the food that we eat. It's just fantastic. 500 meals, brilliant. And it makes a difference to the way that we can garden as well, because you know that £800 is easily enough to cover every expense that we have on the allotment. So that's buying the polytunnels, buying the raised beds and the coal frames and the hoop tunnels and the compost and the landscape fabric and the fertilizers and the rent, all of that stuff, you know, averaged out over a 5 or 6 year period. You know, it pays the winter harvest value, it pays for everything. And that means that all the massive harvests in spring, summer and autumn are basically all free. And then finally, and I think actually this is the most important reason, is that it means that when you come to March and everything starts growing because light levels are increasing and it's getting warmer and all that sort of thing, everything is absolutely ready. Every bed is planted up full of, you know, all manner of fruit and veg, and you know, and the harvest levels are going to go through the roof by comparison with the harvest levels that we've enjoyed through winter. But if you haven't been tending everything and getting everything ready through winter, you know, then it can be June before you're hitting harvest time. And so we're going to get all of March and all of April and all of May at absolutely maximum harvest levels. So, you know, I'm really excited about that. And yeah, so I think, you know, you take it all together and it's just so worth it. So since a lot of this video has been about harvests, I thought maybe I should put my harvest where my mouth is. So here's a little overview of today's harvest. Some of these bits and pieces are from the store because I'm packing up a bag for Jenny. So we've got 3 really nice salad mixes, some carrots, some red and golden beetroot, some potatoes, shallots and onions, some new potatoes, freshly picked, 3 smoothie mixes down the centre there, some bean tops, these are bean tops, some Romanesco cauliflower and some purple sprouting broccoli, some dehydrated apples and pears, kale and cabbage mix, kale sprout tops and sprouts, spinach and perpetual spinach and chard, colettes and perpetual kale mix. So there we go. Not too bad for winter. So I'd love to know what you think of this video, you know, because I know a lot of people, I mean, I go around the site here and very few people really actively garden during the winter. So I'd be intrigued to know what you think about this video. You know, is it actually, you know, convinced you that it's worth doing? Do you already do it? What do you do? Do you do anything different to me? You got any hints and tips that you can pass on to me? Anything that I do that you'd like to know more about and I could make some more videos about? Anyway, that's enough for me today, so I'll see you soon.